Hey guys, welcome back to the another video. Today I'm going to talk about the investment planning for 2022. Last year भी मैंने ये वीडियो बनाने का सोचा था, but it was because of lot of things I was unable to make it. But this year I wanted to make a dedicated video on the investment और how I am going to think about the investment. क्या क्या investment करने वाला हूँ, क्या क्या चीज़ें करने वाला हूँ. So you can have the better idea. And I'm going to recommend few books also. अगर आप investment start करना चाहते हो, then definitely you should read those books. That will definitely help you to plan your investment journey. So basically I have started my investment is around 19-20 के टाइम पे मैंने अपनी फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट की थी. दैट इज इनटू द म्यूचुअल फंड. उससे पहले कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं था. लाइक आई जस्ट यूज टू मेक मनी ऑन द फ्रीलांसिंग एंड जस्ट यूज टू मेक मनी, बट उसका कुछ यूज ही नहीं करता था. बट व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग द नॉन फिक्शन बुक्स और द फाइनेंस बुक्स, देन आई स्टार्टेड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि या ओके, इन्वेस्टमेंट इज समथिंग रियली इंपॉर्टेंट, अदरवाइज इन्फ्लेशन हिट कर जाएगा. इन्फ्लेशन की बिकॉज ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन से आपके मनी की पावर और वैल्यू कम हो जाती है. सो आई नीड टू इन्वेस्ट माई मनी रादर दैन कीपिंग इन द बैंक. सो आफ्टर दैट आई हैव स्टार्टेड इन्वेस्टिंग. आई स्टार्टेड विद द वेरी स्मॉल अमाउंट जो मैं बेयर कर सकता था. अगर वो चले भी गए थे आई डोंट माइंड. सो आई स्टार्टेड विद अ वेरी स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ 500, 5000, 5000, 10,000. But after that, as soon as I realized, okay, it is a really good investment, then I shifted to becoming a really big investment, like more than 10,000, 15,000, 1 lakh. So that kind of investment I started to make. So usually currently I have a lot of investment. First one is I have mutual fund. Second one is I have share market. Like I do little bit of study about the share market and I invest, but I invest for the long term. I don't play the short term games. Third one, I have the crypto, which is I know that currently 30% tax. So I'm not sure I'm going to this year I'm going to put into the crypto anything or not. And the fourth one is US stocks. And after that I have one FD because of the emergency fund that we will talk in the later part. So let's get into the video and talk about all the investments I have done and what are my planning to do in the future. So let's get into the video. The first thing that I want to talk about is emergency fund. Emergency fund is something that is really important in your life, whether you are 20, 22 years old. पता नहीं आता, कुछ भी अचानक से रीज़न आ जाता है, कुछ मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट आ जाती है, फैमिली रीज़न आ जाता है, कुछ भी आ जाता है, and you should be always ready for that. So if you don't have the medical insurance, if you don't have any, even though you have the medical insurance and everything, still you need emergency fund क्योंकि पता नहीं होता कि what is going to happen. So currently I have around 3 months of emergency fund in my account, and I have put that into the FD. I know FD is not a good option, but let's understand this. So if that emergency fund is not going to use for next 3 years, then it's better to put into the something that will give you more return, like more than either put it into super saving funds, liquid funds, और कहाँ पे भी रख दो जहाँ से आपको इक्विटी और इसमें से बेटर रिटर्न मिल जाए. But if you are going to put, I know that it's going to require within a 1 year, then it's better to put into the FD so you can get that money at any instant. So I have the one FD जहाँ पे मैंने have put currently a good amount of money from last year, and I'm going to increase that so I can get at least 5 months of emergency fund ready for me. Currently I have around 3 months of emergency fund ready with me, 2 to 3 months probably, and I wanted to make it at least 5 months of emergency fit. So that's the reason I go for the FD. If you talk about the FD, then the goal is to only to get 4 to 5 months of emergency fund. So I can survive if I don't have YouTube, if I don't have anything income source, then I should survive. So that's the reason the emergency fund is really important, and the goal is to make at least 5 months of emergency fund this year. Second investment is the mutual fund. So I have around more than lakh of rupees into the mutual fund, and I really wanted to make it another investment into the mutual fund, because mutual fund you don't have to think a lot. You can directly put money, and obviously you have to pay some expense ratio, but if you understand little bit of which mutual fund is good, then definitely you can go and directly put the amount. So I have started mutual fund is around at the age of 20, and still I am doing that, and it's really getting me good investment, like 36% of returns I have got last year, which is really crazy, and it's really good. I'm a good way to invest. So this year I'm planning to put at least 30 to 40% into the mutual fund, and it should be this year, I mean total income of the year, and total 30 to 40% of that total income should go into the mutual fund. So that's the goal for this year. I hope I will try to get that, because if you are disciplined, then definitely you are going to get into the investment and you will make good amount of money into the investment. After the mutual fund, the third part that I want to talk about is share market. So the problem with the share market is you have to study a lot, like really you need to study the budget, you need to understand company, उनके balance sheet check करनी पड़ती है, quarterly result, EBITDA, so बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपको check करनी पड़ती है, and then you can surely say that okay, this is a really good stock. So currently I have around, diversification करके I have around 20 odd stocks, like different companies, 20 different companies के stocks है, and which is another value about lakh. And this year also I'm going to make, either I will continue that investment, or else I will try to find the new stocks. But rather than finding the new stocks, I believe I should put my money into the stocks I have already purchased, because they are giving me good return, about 20 to 22%, which is really good as compared to any other thing. I mean, rather than paying the short term, it's better to play the long term. So I have studied all these 20 stocks and I have put a lot of money into these stocks, and I believe they are going to give a great return when it comes to long term. When it comes to stock, the average budget I have allocated is 20 to 25%, or maximum 30% that I'm going to put into the stocks, not more than that, because it's completely volatile and you have to completely check all the studies. Because even though I say I have like 20 different odd stocks in my portfolio, I have to study those 20 stocks every quarter or every month, क्योंकि अगर कंपनी में कुछ गलत वगैरह चेंजेस हो गए तो वो स्टॉक्स कभी भी नीचे आ सकता है. सो आई हैव टू कीप ट्रैक ऑफ ऑल द 20 stocks, and it's really hard to keep track of all the 20 stocks. So that's the reason I'm keeping is the less amount. I mean 20 to 25% I'm keeping for the stocks. So one is crypto. I know crypto is, it's not bad, or but there is 30% tax on the crypto. So whether you make profit, whether you make loss, it's going to be a 30% flat tax on the crypto, which is little bit of scary. So it's not like my portfolio is in the profit, but rather than I'm not sure how I'm going to go with the crypto. Rather than I will start learning about the more about the crypto or NFTs or the DAO, which is Web 3.0 ultimately. So probably I will start thinking about that and start reading about that. But for the crypto, I won't say I will going to put more than 2 to 3% of my total income, because that is, it's kind of a scary, and we are not sure about the future about the crypto in India. If you are live in the other country, then it's really easy for you, apart from Russia and few other countries जहाँ पे crypto completely ban हो चुका है. So crypto is a little bit of scary. It's kind of a big risk, जहाँ पे अगर पैसे गए तो गए, मिल गए तो मिल गए. So kind of this kind of stuff right now we have. So it's only 2 to 3% I'm going to put into the crypto, considering we have to put 30% tax, and I'm going to again that hold for the long time, like at least 5 to 10 years I have to hold that crypto. Then and then only I will get at least good amount of profit, if at that time the tax is reduced. So that is going to be about talking about the digital currency. So these are the specific investment, but I believe books are also investment, learning is also investment, and traveling is also investment. So when it comes to learning, like if I want to learn something new, so this year I'm trying to learn the coding, because coding is something, it's always on my bucket list, and I always wanted to learn about the coding. And here I'm open, like openly talking, because I wanted to keep accountability that how much I learn into the coding. So that's the reason I'm putting this year online. I'm going to learn the coding. That too, specifically I wanted to learn the Flutter and Flutter language. So I have started already learning that. So let's see how it goes. So I have allocated around 10% of my total income that I will put into the learning the language or any other thing. So second thing I am learning also is skating also. Like if you follow me on the Instagram, then you know that I have already started learning the skating. So I will probably make a vlog on the second channel, जहाँ पे I will put a lot everything about how I started learning skating and a lot of that stuff. So for the learning, I have allocated 10% total. And the last one that I have allocated, or the second last I have allocated, is for the travel. So for the travel is something really important in your life, and you should travel a lot of places, you should meet a lot of people, and you should understand the different culture, like just like Japanese culture, Korean culture. We try to read books about that, and we try to understand that the same way you have to do here. And traveling is something that makes you more aware, more understand. So this year I'm planning to put around 10 to 50% of the total income into the traveling. So I have already done 1 or 2 trips, but still I wanted to do the more in the upcoming year. So probably by the end of this month I will have at least 10 to 15% of total income I have spent on the traveling. And the last one on the list is all time our favorite is the books. So when it comes to books, I don't think about, I have given the specific budget for the books. It's like anything I can, like, if I find the book interesting, I will go and buy that book. If I find, something someone recommended me that book, then I will go and buy that book. I don't even think about कि उसकी price क्या है, because if even if I have learned one thing from that book, the ROI is always greater, and ROI changes your life. Like return on investment always changes your life, and return on investment is 10x. Then I don't think about the book price, which is hardly around 200-300 rupees books. So this is everything about the investment that I am going to do in 2022. Now let's talk about the 3 books that you should definitely read. First book that you should definitely read is Let's Talk Money by Monica Halal, because most of the audience is in India or India से लोग हैं, तो Let's Talk Money by Monica Halal is definitely a good guide to understand everything about the finance. लाइक तुम्हारा पर्सनल फाइनेंस कैसे होना चाहिए, इन्वेस्टमेंट कितनी होनी चाहिए, स्टॉक्स में कितनी होनी चाहिए, रियल एस्टेट के बारे में कैसे सोचना चाहिए, अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट आर अवेलेबल इन टू द लेट्स टॉक मनी. आई हैव ऑलरेडी मेड अ डिटेल्ड वीडियो ऑन लेट्स टॉक मनी, सो यू गाइज कैन गो चेक आउट दैट वीडियो जहाँ पे आपको सारी डिटेल्स मिल जाएगी. But I will highly recommend you to read Let's Talk Money by Monica Halal. It's really good. The book that I want to talk about is Your Time or Your Money, which is a great book to understand the concept of the time and the concept of the money. कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कहाँ पे आपको कितना टाइम स्पेंड करना है और कहाँ पे आपको कितना मनी स्पेंड करना है, बिकॉज you can get back your money but you cannot get back your time. So first book is all about Let's Talk Money, is more about understanding the finance. Second book is understanding your life, कि लाइफ में आपको सिर्फ पैसे के पीछे नहीं भागना है, आपको टाइम के पीछे भी भागना चाहिए, बिकॉज टाइम इज समथिंग दैट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू मोर पावर इन लॉन्ग रन एज कम्पेयर टू द मनी. So focus on time rather than money, or try to balance that. So that's the reason Your Time or Your Money is definitely a must read book to understand आपकी लाइफ में आपको क्या ज़रूरत है, आपको टाइम चाहिए या मनी चाहिए. थर्ड बुक दैट आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इज डाई विथ ज़ीरो. सो डाई विथ ज़ीरो इज डेफिनेटली अ गुड बुक, to understand the concept about why you should die with zero. Die with zero basically ये कहता है कि when you are going to die, आपके बैंक अकाउंट में जीरो बैलेंस होना चाहिए rather than having some money. Obviously inherent वगैरह ये बात वाली बातें है, but you should have zero in your बैंक अकाउंट. तो उसके पीछे बहुत सारे रीजन है. देयर इज वन स्टोरी एट द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ दिस बुक. He talks about the grasshopper and the ant, and who is one is kind of person who is YOLO, you only live once, and second one is person who saves for the future. So ये बुक इसके बारे में है कि अगर आप पर्सन हो कि आपको लगता है कि सेव करना चाहिए, बिकॉज फ्यूचर इज फ्यूचर के बारे में सोचना है. एंड ऑन अदर हैंड देर इज अनदर पर्सन हु इज योलो, लाइक यू ओनली लाइफ वंस, एंड ही स्पेंड्स एवरीथिंग, लाइक उसके पास कल का भी सोचने के लिए पैसे नहीं होते. So if you are any kind of this person, then Die with Zero is definitely good book. So basically इस book का in short meaning है, long short story. You should have the savings till अगर आपको retirement के लिए कितने पैसे चाहिए उतने you should first have, and once you have that money, start upgrading your life, start understanding your life, start enjoying the stuff you want to do. So that's the basic mantra about this book, that is Die with Zero. So these are the 3 books that I will highly recommend. Obviously I have already made one video on the personal finance, कि जहाँ पे आपको सारी बुक्स पता चल जाएगी. बट दिस 3 books that I will highly recommend if you are just starting your finance, or just you are in 20s and if you want to understand finance better. So that's all for today's video. I hope you will enjoy this investment strategy, and I want to know what is your thoughts on the investment planning. So let me know into the comment section that what you think about the investment and what are your plans for the investment. And don't forget to join the Telegram group and the newsletter, where we share a lot of free stuff that you are going to enjoy. And if you are looking for the more personal finance book, check out this video where I shared everything about the personal finance book that you should check. And if you are looking for the different types of income sources that I have, check out this video where I shared a lot of income sources and how you can make it. So that's all for today's video. See you in the next one.